End of an era or start of a new one? We will find out soon. Kyle Tucker is being talked about being traded to the Cubs. Alex Bregman has a few suitors, and we know he's probably out the door. So you know what? Let's get into this early edition of Locked On Astros.
Jainer Diaz, this is Locked On Astros.
Hello and welcome to Locked On Astros, your daily Astros podcast. Here are your hosts, Eric the Man Huysman and Brett H-Town Wheelhouse Chancey.
We are Locked On Houston Astros, and we update you joins for a daily Locked On Astros podcast. You can find the show at Locked On Astros. You can find me at Eric Talk Stros, and you can find us wherever you listen to your podcast. Go and make his first listen: Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts. Brett, where can they find you at?
They can find me at H-Town Wheelhouse on X, Instagram, and TikTok, at Stros411 on X and on Facebook, and at Back to the Bullpen on X, on Instagram, and on YouTube, where I'm always positive, always Stros.
Hey guys, thank you for making us first listen on Apple, Odyssey, Spotify. Today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Go ahead and download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. And Brett, before we get started, I am wearing something today. I'm wearing something, Bregman, it's not that special. I think that's what this shirt is saying. I don't know if you remember that series when I think it was the Indians back then. That's what they were called. But I think Mike Clevenger basically said that the Astros offense wasn't that special, and the Astros took care of business in that AL. I think it was the division series, if I remember correctly. Yeah, and I'm also wearing my brand new, never worn Kyle Tucker jersey that I bought for $50. So I'm like, let me go ahead, and if this is the end of an era, I'm gonna go down with a bang. bang on the trash can. Just kidding.
Good job, man. I love it. Eric with the is that a double entendre fashion statement? I mean, that is great, dude. I love it. Wearing the Tucker. I was wondering why you were wearing the Space City jersey. That was throwing me off a little bit. Yeah, I'm just wearing the Stros with the Z 411 shirt. So, but man, what a day, dude. Eric, if we could sit here and talk for an hour about my day, it would be just as entertaining as the winter meetings. It was, your typical kind of everything that kind of could go haywire goes haywire, right? So I made sure that I took my break on my conference period, and I made sure that I kept up with everything. I had the little MLB network on my phone kind of off to the side as we were trying to get things going, and I kept getting notifications and texts from people and asking, hey, did you hear about what's going on? And dude, there is quite a buzz. And the Astros are really, I would say, one of the most talked about teams because the run, they are now saying the run is over. This is the end of an era. This is it. We're done. But as I try to formulate my own opinions, I listen to what other people are saying and how other people are seeing it. And, you got your skies falling, Chicken Littles. You got the other people, and different people on social media will, Schwab has haters. Ben DeBose has haters. I'm sure we have haters, all this stuff. But Ben DeBose said, this is not a rebuild like the 2011 through 2013, right? This isn't like we're not going full Baron. We're not throwing the baby out with the bathwater. We still have a solid core. We still have solid pitching. We still have Yordan Alvarez. We still have Yainer Diaz. We still have these players. What they're doing, hopefully with Kyle Tucker, because they know they can't sign him. They know they're not going to pay $400 million. They're like, how can we fill some holes? And we've got a trade speculation, not necessarily rumor. These are the pieces being offered. And we'll talk about the ins and the outs of that. There's a Phillies one mentioned. But, dude, Alex Bregman could be a Yankee. He could be a Tiger. I mean, this is insane.
Yeah, and there's a lot of buzz going about with Alex Bregman that he could likely be the next big free agent, go off the market. So there's a lot going on, and the winter meetings are over, but that doesn't mean the action is over, and we'll be here all off season to cover all this as well. So I know that Dana Brown basically started all this by saying that no player was off limits. Of course, they're not trading Altuve. They're not trading Alvarez. There's certain players that they're not trading, but everybody knew that he was referring to Kyle Tucker. Especially with what Juan Soto's deal just became official as of earlier this hour, and he got to wear number 22. And so it's about, I think the official number is about $46 million per year after the $75 million signing bonus. He does get his own suite. And so the Mets went all out to get Juan Soto. But what that does do is that does raise the price for Kyle Tucker. And they know, and I saw that Alex, what's his name? The guy who works for Channel 2, Ari Alexander. He basically said that he talked to a lot of a lot of people at the winter meetings, and they said that that Kyle Tucker's value is likely going to be 350 to 400 million. So I know some people yesterday were like, well, why can't it be 180 million? Because that's not what the market is saying. Juan Soto just created a whole new alternate dimension of I know that Kyle Tucker is not Juan Soto, but he just raised the bar. And so now all players would be like, well, Juan Soto just got this. I'm not that level, but I think I deserve this. And Kyle Tucker, I've seen a lot of Yankees fans saying, well, he's not Juan Soto. I don't think the Yankees need to give up that much for him. But then other people are like, well, just imagine what he can do at Yankee Stadium. Imagine what he could do. Even Cubs fans are like, oh, just imagine what this guy could do at Wrigley Field. And they do have the option of extending him. And if they have the opportunity to extend them and everything like that, then you're going to get much better prospects. But some of these trades that we're hearing about, granted, this is all just rumors. We don't know if anything's official, but some of these are not bad ideas.
No,
I love Kyle Tucker. I literally, figuratively, whatever it is, love Kyle Tucker. I don't want him to go anywhere. He is a great player. He's done a lot for this team. But if you're not going to sign him, I am tired of losing these guys for nothing.
Yeah.
Carlos Correa, nothing. Garrett Cole, nothing. George Springer, nothing. You've got nothing for these players. Now it's time to get something. If you know for sure that you're not going to be able to re-sign them for $400 million, you're not going to go beyond. He is 27 years old. He is not this old player. He's somebody that you're going to have to do 8 to 10 years.
And he hasn't even hit his ceiling performance-wise, Eric. He still has room for improvement. He's probably, well, if he goes to the National League, I don't know if he'll win an MVP because it's full of MVPs, right? But I wouldn't mind Kyle Tucker going to the Chicago Cubs, getting him into the National League. I don't want him in the American League. But here is I think the trade rumor that makes the most sense. And this has been reported it actually was first reported by Chandler Rome and Ken Rosenthal. They wrote an article with both of their names on it. So I thought that was kind of cool. Ken's like, hey, Chandler, you can't have all the thunder on this, but I'll let you put your name on it, right? So this is what is being floated. Kyle Tucker, that's who the Cubs get. The Astros get Seiya Suzuki, who's an outfielder, Isaac Paredes, first and third baseman, and either Cam Smith or Matt Shaw. Those are their last two top picks. Now, here is the catch from what I understand. From what I'm being told, the Cubs are trying to trade Kyle Tucker for Paredes and Suzuki and not the prospects, or Paredes, one or two prospects and not Suzuki. So they're trying to fashion in a way where they keep Suzuki because they want Suzuki in the lineup with Tucker. I know that I talked to Sam over there at Locked On Cubs today through DM, and he was like, I love Kyle Tucker. I don't want to lose Suzuki, but it makes sense. I mean, there's so many different variations of this, but here is how it's going to make it worth it for the club. The club that signs him is more than likely going to go ahead and offer him an extension. I'm hearing that that's a possibility, and that's why the Phillies have been floated, because the Phillies have the money to immediately sign him to a big extension. And they showed the Phillies lineup with Kyle Tucker's name in it, Eric. That is unbelievable.
Don't even tell me. Now.
I'm just saying, it's unreal, man. It is like, I mean, think about it. Turner, Harper,
I said don't.
Schwab, I almost said Schwab, Schwarber, Tucker. I mean, dude. So look, here's the thing, boys and girls. We all love Kyle Tucker. Kyle Tucker is that guy that we wanted to keep. But if we're going to get something, let's actually get something for somebody that we lose.
Guys, we'll go and continue this conversation. Go and make his first listen. Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you check out your podcast. Go and make his first listen.
All right, this episode is brought to you by FanDuel. FanDuel is America's #1 sports book. You need to go there today. Look, get into the NFL action. It's heating up. We have people that are on the bubble of the playoffs and the cusp of the playoffs. And right now, new customers, when you bet $5, if you win that $5 bet, you get $150 in bonus bets. And it is a place where you can get everything you need to place bets. Like, you don't have to sign up for FanDuel, then go to one sports site, go to one 4-letter network site, all these different things. No, just go right there on the app. Check out the latest stats, live play-by-play, so much more on the same page where you place your bets. So visit FanDuel.com to join today. You'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. That's FanDuel.com. Never waste a hunch and make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL.
Hey guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day, whether it's on YouTube. Go ahead and subscribe to us. Go ahead and check us out on your Amazon Fire TV stick. All you have to do is download the free channels app. Just go and search baseball and search Astros, and you can see Brett and I on your big screen with our smiling faces talking about Kyle Tucker possibly being traded to another team. And one of those teams, Brett, is likely going to be the Bronx Bombers. The Yankees are a team that probably has a strong desire, especially after losing Soto. They saw how much Soto meant to the team. I know they paid a big price. One thing that John Heyman did say is that Tucker's plan is to become a free agent next year. So an acquiring team likely won't be able to extend him. But what I'm saying, if you give him an offer he can't refuse, then maybe he'll bypass free agency. So if the Yankees want to come in and say, look, we want to trade for Kyle Tucker. We want you on our team. We don't want to deal with what we dealt with this past year with Juan Soto. We'll go ahead and give you 12 years, $450 million right now. Would you go and do that, Kyle Tucker? And then we'll trade for you. You could be a member of the Yankees for the rest of your career. Do you think Kyle Tucker would say yes?
Well, really, honestly, it doesn't matter if Kyle Tucker says yes. He doesn't have the right to say yes or no. He doesn't have a no trade clause. You mean would the Astros say yes?
No. Well, there's a 72 window. The Yankees could ask for a 72 hour window.
Oh, okay.
That's what I've been talking about for the past couple of days. And
okay. I guess
so that would increase how many prospects you can get. And so the Astros would say yes if that's the case.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Okay. So the thing with the Yankees is if I'm the Astros, I'm staying away from that. Why? Yes, I like Luis Gil, but why am I staying away from the Yankees? He's there in the AL. The AL West is soft. I think the Rangers are going to be, the more I see, they re-signed Eovaldi. The Rangers are making some moves. I think the Rangers are going to be a lot better this year than were last year. I think they had a fall off. I think they're going to have a little bit of a welcome back party kind of thing because they've got a good lineup and they've got Jacob deGrom coming back, even though he may not pitch like he used to. He's still Jacob deGrom, right? So with all that being said, the AL is winnable, Eric. The AL is winnable. I am not giving Kyle Tucker to the Yankees. What if Alex Bregman goes to the Yankees or the Tigers, right? You don't want Kyle Tucker going there. I think there are other teams you can deal with that you're not going to have to battle that guy very much. Now, there's not many National League teams that are out there. I think this Cubs thing is fluid. I think Dana Brown can work his magic with this trade. And it might very well be, Eric, that this may be a trade where the Astros kind of snow the Cubs. If we get enough in this package and everybody in this package hits, it's going to be a darn good deal. Because with Isaac Paredes, he has, I believe, 2 years of control with the contract he's under. I believe Suzuki, I'm not sure about him, what his years of control are. I didn't look that up. I should have.
I think he has 2, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
Paredes has 3, if I remember correctly.
Oh, 3. Okay. So we've got him beat on years. And if we can get those draft picks, if we can get those, prospects, I mean, let's do it. But the Phillies package that was floated, I didn't like it. It was Nick Castellanos. I think they're talking about Alec Bohm coming over because we lose Bregman, and then there were 1 or 2 guys that were prospects, and that just doesn't move the needle for me. Okay, 3 years for Paredes, 2 for Suzuki. That's right. Okay, yeah, I think it's just what you said. But at the end of the day, this is going to make the team better. I think it's going to make the team better. If you can get 2 to 4 players that play at a high level versus having 1, I mean, and who knows, Eric, what his future is going to hold. Is that ball off the shin going to cause problems in the future? I mean, we saw the injury with Carlos Correa, how many issues he's had with his foot and with his legs since he's been in Minnesota. And that's why they're trying to offload his salary. And no, we're not trading for Correa to come play third base. No, we don't want it. I'm sorry, Carlos, your time was great here, but I don't want to send anybody there to get Carlos. He wants to come here for free. Come on, bud.
Well, I think the intriguing thing about the Yankees, just going back to that, is they have a strong desire, and they do have some players that could help you now. Louis Gill is a guy that won the rookie year last year, or he won? Yeah, I think he won, right?
He won he won the rookie of the year this year. Yeah, he was a stud. He was, I mean, outside of Cole, he was really good.
Yeah, and Jason Dominguez is likely going to be part of the deal, even though a lot of Yankees fans are like, imagine this lineup with Jason Dominguez leading off and then having Kyle Tucker batting third. If the Astros trade Tucker to the Yankees, Jason Dominguez is going to be a big part of that deal because he's their top hitter. And throw in a couple prospects, I think that would be a good deal. If you get somebody like Gill, then you could possibly trade Valdez for maybe some more youth. And what the Astros are doing, they're not rebuilding. The Yankees have done this before. You've seen teams do this before. They're retooling. They're kind of just turning in some expiring contracts into players that they can use for the future. Because the future, yes, it may be semi-bright, but it doesn't look as great anymore because you just don't have that star talent down in the farm system. You have Bryce Matthews, you have a couple other people, and then it's just like, they don't move the needle. So what you have is you have some hope, and that's what these trades are aimed to do. We're tired of losing guys to free agencies. If you're not going to go beyond 6 years, we get that. It sucks. Jim Crane is not a cheap guy. He's not a cheap owner. He's got the 5th highest payroll right now, but he's just set in the ways. He's not going to go above this. And if they have their best foot forward for Alex Bregman, and of course, Ari Alexander and John Heyman, a couple other people have said the Astros are still in on Alex Bregman. They have not been ruled out. So possibly going over 180 million.
See, but here's the thing, and mark my words when I say this. Someone has offered him 7 to 8 years. And if that's happened, which someone's going to offer Alex Bregman 7 years. Someone's going to offer him a 7 or 8 year contract. And what's going to happen is Boris is going to take that contract back to the Astros, and Jim Crane's going to say, we're not going past 6. That's going to be the linchpin. It's not going to be the money. It's going to be the years. It's going to be the extra year. But what's crazy, Eric, about this, and I won't get into this too much because I want to talk about some stuff on the other side, some of this stuff on the other side. The Padres have announced that they are willing to listen to offers on guys like Dylan Cease and other players on their team. So, I mean, it's going crazy.
Retooling.
Yeah, well, after this break, okay, I want to talk about who the Red Sox just signed or traded for as one of their pitchers and why they might be the best pitching staff in the AL East. Hey guys, thank y'all for tuning in. This episode is brought to you by our friends at Game Time. That's right. Download the app today and use the promo code LOCKEDONMLB. Get $20 off your first purchase. Look, I've used Game Time. I use it for Rockets games, for Astros games. If you want to go out on the town and you want to see a ballet, an opera, if you want to see a stand-up comedian come to town, go to Game Time. I mean, they've got great offers. I mean, Eric has told you about how he used it to go to a concert all the way up in Arlington. And look, here's the deal. If you go there, you get seat views. They have the best customer service policy in the industry. I mean, they have like job loss protection. I mean, God forbid that ever happened to you. But if anything happened, they would take care of you. And if you get tickets to an event and you find tickets in the same row, in the same section at a lower price, you will get credited 110% the difference in your account. It's so easy. They have the ways to search tickets without having to search through thousands. If you want elite tickets or super tickets, super deals, they'll take you straight to them. So go check out Game Time today. Use the promo code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your purchase. Terms do apply. What time is it? Game Time.
Hey guys, go and make us your first listen on Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts. Go and check us out. Yeah, a lot of people are speculating about what's going on. I don't think anybody really truly knows what the exact names are, but the winter meetings are over right now. And Dana Brown said that he left the winter meetings confident and optimistic. I don't know if he's so optimistic about Alex Bregman coming back, but he had to say this. It's difficult to think about what the work is like without Bregman, but we're still projected, even without Bregman, to win the division. If we don't have him back, we'll definitely try to upgrade or improve, and we'll definitely try to do the same at first base. Ultimately, we don't want to talk about life without Bregman until it's over, because we still feel like we've got a shot. That sounds like a Taylor Swift song, doesn't it?
No, well, I don't actually, I don't, no offense. I don't know any Taylor Swift songs. I'm not a Swiftie, man. I'm not a big Taylor Swift fan. So if y'all are, good for y'all. That's good. There's people out there that like her, but man, like the Houston Astros, you know, this is what's odd is what are they going to do with, you know, Ryan Presley? What are they? I mean, Hader's contract is just crazy, but dude, did you see who the Red Sox got? They got Garrett Crochet. They traded for this stud pitcher, Garrett Crochet, and they are talking right now with the Mariners about possibly Luis Castillo, or I don't think Logan Gilbert's in there. The Castillo things have kind of come to a halt a little bit, but they're talking to the Mariners about that. And the Mariners are the front runners to get this Sasaki guy, who is, you know, Roki Sasaki. They're the front runners for him because they've got, guess who their pitch man is? Ichiro Suzuki. You got Ichiro Suzuki in your back pocket. You could probably pull any Japanese player. And so that's pretty cool that, I mean, you know, I just don't know what's going to happen, but I am determined to believe that Dana Brown is going to get this Cubs deal done, and it's going to include 2 major league players, and it's going to include 2 prospects. And Kyle Tucker will probably be wearing a Cubs uniform. I think Alex Bregman is either wearing a Tigers uniform or a Yankees uniform. That's my prediction for Alex Bregman. And I hate to say that, as much as it pains me to say that. I don't see him going to the National League, but I see Alex Bregman. I mean, he may go to the Phillies. I would welcome the Phillies, put him in the National League. Okay. But man, that video, Eric, that tribute video is going to be a gut wrencher when we have to watch it at Minute Maid Park.
Yeah, especially if they somehow end up on the same team. I know I've saw something about maybe Bregman possibly going to the Cubs. So let's just say Tucker and Bregman go to the Cubs, and then I don't know if the Cubs are playing at May Park this next year, but that would definitely suck. You have both of them coming back, and that would be heart-wrenching. But just have the memories of the two players. But at the end of the day, it's business for ownership, and this would be definitely a change of thinking for Jim Crane. He said that under his leadership, he will not, the window will not close. And so at the same time, it's not closing. They're trying to get major league pieces back, but they're also trying to improve the farm system. It's the worst in baseball, and they can't fix that through the draft. They don't have enough draft rounds anymore. They only have 5 rounds. And it's not like the old days where you can just go out and draft like 60 or 70 players. You only have X amount of players. And so Dana Brown was brought in for this reason. That's why they've been pretty good in the international market. That's why you're probably not going to see them go spend it all on Sasaki, even though he would be a good fit, even if you have to spend all that money on the Sasaki. But we'll see what happens.
Well, right. Well, for him, though, and that's what everybody's saying, but for him, he's coming in on a minor league deal. You don't have to spend all your pool money on that, right? Because
for signing bonus, yes, you will have to. If you want him to choose you over other teams, yes, I think you will.
Well,
and the
that's true.
Astros have already committed to some players already. So the pool money has already been decreased a little bit because of Josh Hader going over to salary.
That's for
tax special.
Well, that's for this year. 2025 it resets. Okay, no. 2025 it resets, but you're right. 500,000 for Hader, and there's another 500,000. But hey, I don't know if you know this, Eric. The Houston Astros signed Julio Rodriguez today. Did you hear about that?
No.
Yeah, in the minor league phase of the Rule 5 draft, they got Julio Rodriguez, right-handed pitcher from the Giants AA program. You see what I did there?
I knew where you're going with this, but I'm like, no.
They got Jean Pinto, right-handed pitcher, Orioles AA. Anderson Beto. Maybe he's tied to the Despicable Me ties there. Right-handed pitcher, Rockies AA. Jack Blomgren, Rockies High A, and Nick Sweeney, the Giants AA. Now, I reached out to our friend Kenny. I said, hey, man, tell me about these guys. And Kenny's like, you know what? Honestly, I don't know much about any of these guys. I'm like, okay, if Kenny doesn't know about them, then they must not be that good. Because if they were some kind of good, Kenny Van Dorn from Astros Future would have known, right? But I saw that, and I thought that was kind of funny. I was like, oh, my gosh, Julio Rodriguez. How do we finally got Julio Rodriguez. He's finally an Astro, right? I mean, so, but we didn't lose anybody, Eric. We didn't lose anybody in the Rule 5 draft. So there's that.
Yeah. I know one of the pitchers, I think, put the list back up.
The list.
I think one of those guys just had Tommy John surgery. I forgot which one it was. I think it was Pinto.
Pinto just did. You're right.
One of those guys just had, so he won't be available till like possibly mid-season. But these guys are just depth options, and these are guys to kind of fill out the minor league system. Not necessarily. These guys are guys that have been in farm system for a while, and we saw people like what's the left-hander we had last year? Left-handers for some reason I can never remember their names. The left-hander that we got in Rule 5, the minor league draft last year, the reliever.
Yeah, I don't remember off the top of my head. Dude, I've had a day, so I can't. It's okay. Don't worry about it.
But we got him in a Rule 5 draft in the minor league, and so he was a good find. So sometime you can get some pieces that actually help your team in the minor league phase. So the real finds are when you get somebody in the major league, but the Astros didn't have room on the major league roster. So
I will say this too. One of the things that might be holding back the Kyle Tucker trade with the Cubs is what Alex Bregman is doing or not doing.
Yeah.
Because he hasn't said he's not going to sign here. But look, I'm just telling you, man, teams are smart. They know what kind of X factor Alex Bregman brings. Okay. And Alex Bregman brings an X factor in the playoffs that not many can bring. Huh?
Brian King. Brian King was the Rule 5 pick.
Oh,
last year.
Brian King was. Okay. Yeah, I just totally forgot about that guy. But the thing is, if that's what they're waiting for on Alex Bregman, then they're going to be waiting. And it's kind of weird. Like the winter meetings get here, they talk for like a couple days and then it's over. It's like, I think the winter meetings should be like a week long. It would just make it more fun. I like seeing all the interviews. You know, you saw the different former players talking about different stuff. LaTroy Hawkins was on there today. He's helping the Minnesota Twins. And that's what's interesting is people have said, well, you know, the Astros have checked in on Carlos Correa and the Minnesota Twins. And I'm like, why? He still has all the money attached to him. You're not going to put him at third base. I don't know. I mean, I guess you could. He's got a cannon, but he's always injured, man. So to kind of wrap this up, Kyle Tucker and Alex Bregman, I think the prediction is pretty accurate from a lot of our local media. I think they're going to be wearing different uniforms this next season.
Yeah, and it's probably end of era, maybe with these two guys, but maybe it's the start of a new era. I don't know if that means they're not going to be winning anymore, but we'll see. It depends on what Dana Brown. This is his first big test as a GM, and how does he handle the situation? Does he get fleeced because Kyle Tucker is probably one of the best talents he'll ever trade, and so he 100%. Has to do this correctly. He can't it can't be Mookie Betts 2.0. If you're going to trade this type of talent, you've got to get something in return, and you cannot get fleeced. I know this is the winter holidays, but you can't get fleeced. You've got to go out there, be like an Avalanche, and just make your way, get the prospects you want and the players you want.
One last note, Christian Walker is really only seeking a 3-year deal. Go get Christian Walker. If you make this trade for Tucker, you've got third base shored up. You've got Bregman's replacement. Go get me Christian Walker. Give me Paredes. Give me these guys. We will bang a lot of home runs in this this next season, and I think you're going to see a powerful offense. Go do it, Jim Crane. You heard me. Let's go.
All right, guys, if anything else happens tonight, maybe we'll come back on and do another podcast. But thank you for the 260 plus people that have watched live. We appreciate all the everydayers that are here. If you have not subscribed, go ahead and hit that little red button down there. That says subscribe and make us your first listen. And we will see you tomorrow. And go ahead and it is a business, and we'll see you tomorrow at the start of business. No, just kidding. All right. Any closing thoughts, Brett?
No, but Eric's saying that the business, we're doing it with all of our heart. So if he's ripping your heart out, it's okay. Guys, if it doesn't kill you, it makes you stronger. Kyle Tucker, I know. Hey, y'all want some Kyle Tucker bobblehead dolls? I'm probably going to start selling them.
All right, that's all we got. We'll see you tomorrow. Go Spurs.